Hey subscribers, new story for you. The Whispers in the Walls. It was late autumn when Sarah moved into the old house at the edge of town. She had heard rumors, whispers of strange happenings and unexplained noises, but she was determined to start fresh. The house had been vacant for years, and the price was too good to pass up. The first night she barely slept. The house creaked and groaned with the wind. Its wooden floors seemed to move beneath her, and shadows flickered across the walls despite no lights being on. But she told herself it was just the house settling. On the second night, it started, a faint whisper. At first, she thought it was the wind again, but the sound seemed deliberate, like someone was speaking just out of reach. Sarah tried to ignore it, pulling the covers tighter around her as she convinced herself it was just her imagination. But the whispering grew louder, a soft, almost pleading voice. It was coming from the walls. "Help me." Terrified, Sarah got up and walked around the room, searching for the source of the voice. But there was nothing, just the cold emptiness of the house. She could still hear it, though, faintly, like it was echoing from the farthest corners of the house. The next day, she tried to brush it off as stress. But as night fell again, the whispers returned. This time, louder. "Help me!" Over and over, in a raspy voice that seemed to crawl along the walls, around the doorframe, like it was trying to get closer. Unable to bear it any longer, Sarah decided to investigate. She picked up a flashlight and made her way into the basement, the only place she hadn't explored yet. As she descended the creaky stairs, she noticed the air growing colder with each step. The whispers were louder here, like they were coming from inside the walls themselves. At the bottom of the stairs, she found an old dusty trunk in the far corner. She felt a strange compulsion to open it. When she did, a musty smell hit her, and she nearly recoiled, but then her eyes fell on something, a bundle of tattered clothes and a weathered old journal. She reached for the journal and flipped it open, her heart pounding. The pages were filled with frantic writing, a story of a young woman who had been trapped in the walls of the house. Her name was Mary. The journal described how Mary had been locked away, forgotten, until her body wasted away in the cold darkness of the walls. The last entry read, "If someone reads this, they must let me out. I can't die like this." Suddenly the whispers grew louder, now frantic, almost desperate. "Help me, please, let me out." Sarah's breath caught in her throat. She looked around, panic rising in her chest. Something was wrong, so wrong. And then she saw it. A section of the wall in the far corner of the basement was slightly ajar, a dark gap between the bricks. She didn't remember it being there before. Before she could react, the whispers turned into a loud, anguished scream. "Let me out!" Without thinking, Sarah rushed forward, her hands trembling as she pulled at the bricks, her heart pounding in her ears. The wall seemed to shift under her touch, and then, with a final, horrifying crack, the bricks gave way. A cold, skeletal hand reached out from the darkness.